Hi, I'm Lauren with Onatah Seed, and I'm here to talk to you today about a watermelon margarita. So in our last video, we talked about how to use your garden in a box, and we were talking about our cocktail garden in a box. Today I'm going to show you some things you might be able to do with that cocktail in a garden in a box once your herbs have grown up. Specifically, we're going to talk about thyme today. So thyme is a really fresh, herby, woody sort of smell. It kind of gets a stem that gets a little bit woody. It's great on so many different dishes, but it's also going to add a nice little fresh note to any of your cocktails that you're looking for. And we're going to use it today making a watermelon margarita. Now, full disclaimer, I am not a chef. I am also not a mixologist, which is probably more important for this video. But what I will tell you is that this watermelon margarita is absolutely delicious, and you will not be sad that you made it. But what I do ask is that you bear with me, because I probably am not going to measure everything exactly, and I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes that a true mixologist would be like, oh my god, how did you not do that? Because I'm just an at-home novice gardener, novice drink maker. Which is not entirely true, because I was a bartender for several years, but shh, it's fine. It's just all tastes good once you mix it together. Okay, so how do we get a watermelon margarita? The ingredients you're gonna need are really, really simple, but you might have to do a little bit of prep work first before you go ahead and try and make this at home. The first thing you're gonna need are some fresh limes and or lime juice, right? So we're gonna use these limes to make our own lime juice today. But if you don't find any limes in your grocery store, or if you're lazy, most likely like me, you would want to just buy lime juice. Now, I live in a very rural area. There are not some bougie grocery stores that carry good lime juice, so I'm gonna make my own today. But you can use the lime juice you find in the grocery store. The other thing you're gonna need is some tequila. You can choose any tequila that you like. Really good quality tequila obviously sounds really good, but I'm sure that a mediocre level of tequila would also taste really great in this. It's up to you, whatever you have. And the star ingredient besides our thyme is going to be our watermelon juice. Now, watermelon juice is not easy to find in the grocery store, so I actually have to make my own watermelon juice. Really, really not hard, especially in the summertime. I like to just get a watermelon, cut it up, throw it into a food processor, get it all blended up, and then just strain out the pulp. So you're just going to use like a measuring cup and a strainer, let it drip out into there, get rid of the pulp, and then you can freeze that watermelon juice and then have it anytime that you want to make watermelon margaritas. So I've actually got some watermelon juice defrosted today that I had made previously earlier this summer, and we're going to use that. The other thing you're going to need besides your thyme is a little bit of ice and some salt for your rim. Now, I might argue that salt on the rim is the reason to have a margarita. If you're not salting your rim, cool, onto you, but you're really missing out, because the salt is key. You can find margarita salt at the grocery store. Usually in the liquor section they have like some flaky margarita salt, which is great. You can use that. If you have other kinds of bougie flaky salt, use that. I like to mix my salt with a little bit of tahini. If you're not familiar with what tahini is, it's a little seasoning you can find right in your grocery store. Even my rural grocery store has it. And it just adds a little bit of kick, a little bit of spice. It's not overly spicy. You're not gonna like burn your tongue off or anything, but I think it just adds a little depth of flavor to your margarita rim, particularly because the watermelon is so sweet. It's kind of nice to have something that has a little bit of kick in it. So I like to add a little bit of tahini into the salt, as we're gonna do today. So find that in your grocery store. First thing we're going to do is actually make some lime juice. Now, if you want to get your glasses cooled, you can go ahead and put ice in there. I don't really care about that, because it makes my glass super sweaty ahead of time and drippy, and to be honest, it just doesn't look good on camera, so I'm not going to do it today. But bartenders and other mixologists would go ahead and put your ice in maybe your mixer, so that your glass and things get cool ahead of time. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the lime juice, because it takes a little bit of time. Now, you probably want to juice about a lime's worth, maybe a lime and a half. I'm actually going to leave this little guy here and just do one full lime. I happen to have a handy dandy little juicer, which is great because it has a little tray on it, so it catches all of the juice. If you don't have that though, please don't worry, use a fork. And you're just gonna kind of massage the little lime around there, the little half a lime, and catch some. Now when you're making this margarita, I recommend, I would say like 1-to-3 ratio with your lime juice and your watermelon juice. So you're probably gonna wanna do like 1/4 cup, 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice to a full cup of watermelon juice if you're making one good sized margarita. But you can edit it to your taste. It's your drink, it's your cocktail. If you want it stronger with the lemon or the lime, by all means do that. So I've got 1 lime juiced here, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead and move that aside. And the other thing I wanna do is get our our thyme prepared. Thyme, lime. We're in a rhyming game today. So we're gonna take a little bit of these leaves. They're just teeny tiny little leaves, and break them off. And I'm using a mortar and pestle, but honestly, if you didn't have something like this, you could just break them up into your glass and just sort of pull them off the stem and let them float around in your glass. It's kind of what I did with the sample glass that we have here. But to help get these flavors really out and into the cocktail, I'm just gonna go ahead and muddle these up. That's about enough, I think, for that. So just gonna kind of get them smashed up a little bit, and it just kind of breaks it up so that it releases the flavor, and it's gonna make it a little bit more potent in your cocktail. So really good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just scrape these guys out and add him right into the lime juice there, Viola. Next, you wanna make sure you have the salt done on your rim. I have a little bit already pre-done here with the tahini. I'm gonna add a little more to the plate here. And then you're gonna wanna wet the rim of your glass. So another great thing to do, if I thought more about this, was to have a glass to just dip your water in, but I don't, so what I'm gonna do is take this glass that has my ice cubes in it, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to it, as so, and then I'm just gonna dunk this cup right in there to get that rim nice and wet. Once you get it wet, you can go ahead and just rub it in the salt mixture here. I happen to like a lot of margarita salt and tahini, so I'm gonna really spend a little bit of time getting this together. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it does look pretty good to me, I'm not gonna lie. So let's add over there. I'm gonna go ahead and actually add the ice cubes from this bowl right into my glass because I like my margarita on the rocks. So now I've got my glass, it's totally prepared. I've got my lime juice with my ground up leaves of thyme in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything into our mixer. So like I said, you want about a 1-to-3 ratio of your lime juice and your watermelon juice. And then your tequila is, I'm gonna say, to your discretion. I'm not a huge drinker, so probably a 3 count is just enough for me, but add as much or as little as you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1, 2, and 3. That's enough for me for one cocktail. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in our watermelon juice. Beautiful. Really nice. Great. Make sure you have the top on your mixer as you go ahead and shake it, because otherwise that will not be good. Shake it all up, get her going, and then you can pour her right into your cup. Perfect. You guys were nervous. You thought I was gonna make a faux cup. I got it. Now you're gonna wanna add a piece of thyme just for garnish. Of course, it looks beautiful, but I will tell you the added bonus to it is as you're drinking, this little bit of thyme, you're really gonna smell it. It's really gonna be vibrant. And when you're having a margarita, sort of regular margarita, it doesn't really feel as alive as it does when you have actual fresh herbs in it. You could also do this with basil. I do have some basil over here from the garden. So you could add basil, you could add mint, you could even add the sage. All of these are part of our garden in a box kit from our cocktail garden. So any one of these really in this recipe would be delicious. And you could do the same thing that we did today with them. I particularly happen to like the thyme. I love the way it looks. I also have the thyme. Sorry, I mean, like, you have to make that joke, right? You have to say that. But anyways, as you're drinking it, you're gonna get a lot of the smell from this herb, and it's really gonna highlight how it is. So, salud. Let's have a cocktail. Wow, literal perfection. Very good. That smell from that herb is just, The tahini in the rim, I promise you it's not spicy. It just adds a depth of flavor and like a little bit of heat to it. Works so well with the sweet watermelon juice and the nice bite from the lime juice. Tequila on point, very good. So I hope you guys enjoyed making a cocktail with me, and I hope you make one at home. For more videos, please subscribe. There will be more videos like this coming for all of our garden in a boxes, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys. Exactly. Yes. Don't worry guys, we just had to move a dog to get a shot because she's gotta be center of attention all the time. Nothing like a Lucy to have filming with you. It's okay, princess.